NoDQ Galaxy. We are live with predictions for AEW Full Gear 2022. I am joined with this week's NoDQ panel for the predictions. Let's go ahead and introduce everybody, and I would like to get everyone's overall thoughts on a scale of 1 to 10, your excitement level, and honestly, if you're even going to purchase the pay-per-view. I'm just curious. So first up, we haven't had him on in a while, but he's back and better than ever, just like Eric Bischoff. Mikey T, how's it going, man?
What is good? What is good? No DQ. I appreciate the Eric Bischoff reference. You know what I mean? I'm making my way up in no DQ. I'm like the third-rate commentator, Eric Bischoff from like the WWF or WCW era right now. But I'm working my way up to some executive level shit. So first of all, appreciate everybody for having me back. I'm Mikey T, aka Mikey T, the movie star. So first of all, I want to say my excitement level for this show. You know, I look back at Full Gear 2021. They had some random matches on that pay-per-view, you know, with like Jamie Hayter teaming up with Nyla Rose, Cody Rhodes teaming up with Pac against Malachi Black and Andrade, Britt Baker defeating Ty Conti, CM Punk getting his first taste of heel heat against Eddie Kingston. You know what I mean? Then that atrocious America's Top Team feud with the Inner Circle and the botched main event. It should have been Daniel Bryan taking the title from Kenny Omega and Miro dropping the TNT title to Hangman to further build him up. I believe Miro dropped the TNT title to Sammy Guevara, and it was just horrible booking. So looking towards this card, when it comes to my rating, you know what I mean? We got MJF in the main event, predictable ending there. Moxley has kind of been such a placeholder champion. I'm wondering if he's going to consider that in his own mind. But this full, you know what I mean? This feels like WrestleMania a little bit because we'll get some conclusions here with Luchasaurus and Jungle Boy, the battle of the TBS belt, the return of a legend, and the final showdown. And even a chance to break 2 new stars with MJF and Jamie Hayter. So I'm going to give this one a 9.5.
Nice. We got Mr. Tito in the house, and shout out to the rest of the early birds. Cleaver, Colin, Andrew, much love, my friend. Gomer, Kyle, Dustin Herrick, Greg Mayer, Darren G. I appreciate you all for tuning in early, and leave your comments as we predict the matches for Full Gear 2022. Now I'm going to throw it over to Steel City G. How's it going, man? 1 to 10. What are your thoughts?
Pretty good. You know, Full Gear, I was at the very first one. You know, back in 2019 when it first started. I was supposed to go to this one, but my best friend kind of screwed that up on me. So I'm going down to Maryland to watch with other friends. So I personally won't be watching the purchasing the pay-per-view. My friends will. So I got that for free, which is awesome. On a scale from 1 to 10, my excitement level, you know, the card looks pretty good. I'm going to go 9 out of 10.
All right.
With this Full Gear.
Not too bad. And last but certainly not least, we have the simple man, Noah Foster. Noah, how are you feeling about this show?
Hey, hello once again, everybody. Professional wrestling fans and sports enthusiasts galore. How y'all doing? Aaron, Mikey T, Big G, good to see you. I'm doing great, and I feel really great about this pay-per-view. For the last 2 years, AEW Full Gear has been my pay-per-view of the year. So, of course, I purchased this one. And with the idea of MJF and Jamie Hayter spearheading maybe AEW 2023, keyword maybe, I'm very optimistic towards those 2 matches in particular. Saraya, keyword folks, is how you say her name. Saraya versus DMD. It's going to be very interesting to see how Saraya handles herself being back inside the ring. And there are several other matches yet to be added that I'm very curious what they might bring forward too, whether it's Trios Title, TNT Championship, All-Atlantic Championship, maybe another grudge match too. And will we finally see the good guy win in the end between Luchasaurus and Jungle Boy, with the steel cage being a factor? There's a lot of variety and there's a lot of interesting storylines to come ahead, so I'm definitely looking forward to this show. It's a 10 out of 10 for me.
All right, Noah, very enthusiastic about the show. And as he mentioned, we're doing this on the Tuesday night. I would prefer to do it after Wednesday, but things are the way they are. We got live streams lined up for the rest of the week until Saturday, so it has to be tonight. We got 8 confirmed matches, which is still a pretty hefty portion of the card. I'm thinking there'll be 12 or 13 when you count the kickoff show, the 0 hour.
There will be.
Yep,
and Noah,
absolutely.
we do have the Predictions League wrapping up for AEW. Here is where things stand. Of course,
coming from my spot.
Yo, isn't Sun #1 in the WWE predictions too?
He is
Big
indeed.
Jeez Louise.
Yeah,
Yo,
Sung is Mr. Predictions. He is the Super Saiyan of NoDQ. And NoDQ Galaxy, as always, your opinions matter too. I will have the full 4-page league uploaded tomorrow, as well as the form once the rest of the card is added. No later than after Dynamite tomorrow night. This is the final event for the All Elite League of 2022. Good luck to all of you.
All right, let's get started. We'll talk about the 8 matches that are official. And then after that, we'll go over some of the rumored, well, there is one additional match, but it's not confirmed as to who the participants will be. That is TBD, but we'll talk about that. Now, let's get started with our first match of the evening. It's a big return. We haven't seen her in the ring in about 5 years. Saraya going up against Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, Big G's favorite AEW superstar or wrestler, professional wrestler, damn it.
Female.
This is going to be
female.
Female. But one could argue she is the best male or female, but I'm not going to make that argument.
That's subjective for another day. Let's keep going.
All right. So this will be an interesting match for sure. What is Saraya capable of doing? One would think that she'll tone down her style a little bit. Everybody will be curious to see how this plays out. Hopefully she's healthy and it's a very entertaining match. Nobody gets hurt. But is it too predictable? I mean, is it too obvious that Saraya's picking up the win in her first match back? Big G, you are a Britt Baker enthusiast, favorite female performer in AEW. So go ahead and give us your prediction for this match.
Yeah, so this should be one hell of a match. You know, I think Britt is the perfect first opponent for Saraya in AEW. I mean, I feel like that Britt can work safe with Saraya in this match. And, you know, we haven't seen Paige or Saraya in a ring well over 5 or 6 years now. You know, I think when she got hurt last, she was going against Sasha Banks, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. So, like I said, should be one hell of a match. God, I want to say it's predictable, and you know, Saraya would win her comeback match, but I gotta go with my girl. I gotta go with my girl, Dr. Britt Baker, to win this.
Wow! All right.
I feel like this is going to be the first match in a trilogy of matches. I don't think this is going to be their only match. You know, Thunder and Britt had, you know, a good couple matches, and I feel like this can go on for, you know, Saraya. She had her, I guess I don't want to say her feel good moment, but she had her, I guess you can, when she came back a while back on Dynamite, you know, and like the way she came off on Dynamite a couple weeks ago or last week when her and Britt were face to face, I felt like Saraya was like portraying the heel, you know, downgrading to Britt and saying, you know, this is her house when, you know, Britt's been there since day one in AEW, you know, so and just to see Britt's face when like she said that and Britt didn't like really say anything back to that, I was kind of like shocked and surprised. But I'm gonna go with Britt to win this. So let's go DMD, get this win for me, baby.
Okay, well, on that note, I'm going with Saraya. I think it's the easy pick. She wins her comeback match, and I just hope that everybody's okay when it's all said and done. And that's pretty much all I have to say about that one. Now, Caleb Jacobs sent in a $2.21 super chat. Thank you, Caleb. Says Saraya should win her comeback match. I mean, it's possible. We have seen it occasionally, but it's very rare to see somebody lose their comeback match. Noah, what do you think is going to happen?
What I love about AEW at times, it's not that damn predictable. And this match is all about the storytelling. Mikey T, you and I dissected the women's division, this match in particular, during Open Mic Night on Castagnoli Studios and the Jet Vision Network Multiverse Media. That being said, this match could be interesting considering we still have yet to hear the final words from the two. As tomorrow night, Darby D will be with Toni Schiavone, and Saraya will be with her friend Renee Paquette. But this is more so a proving ground for both. Sabrina DMD is here to prove why she is the pillar, the foundation of AEW, and how this unwelcome house guest needs to schedule an appointment before she can put her at any status quo. But she's also trying to prove that she is as big of a superstar, if not bigger, than what Saraya has done in her past. Saraya, she wants to make this her comeback story. Turn the page on her past and start a whole new chapter with a very bright beginning. So what could happen here? Do you get some sort of shenanigans that come into play? Does Rebel or Jamie? And could the match have a butterfly effect towards maybe the AEW Women's World Championship match? Fuck Interim. Women's World Championship match later. But that being said, right now, I definitely agree that this is not a one-off, but we're going to see how Saraya performs with Britt, who is very safe. But I think Saraya is going to get the win here, while Britt's ego will be a little bit bruised. I got Saraya.
All right. Now we throw it over to Mikey T. Let's see if he will agree with Big G.
No, he won't.
This match right here, this could be an epic match, but it also could be one of those things where Paige hits her with her finisher and ends this thing within the first minute. I have a couple different theories about the way this match could go. But I'm going to have to say this is pretty much the most likely the match that we're most interested in keeping our eyes on. I could say the main event, but that's kind of an obvious finisher. But this one right here, we want to see what's going to happen with Saraya. Unless they do some type of an angle where there is no finish to really lead to a ratings pop for Dynamite, I'm going to have to say Saraya is going to get the win here. You know what I mean? Especially in her big return match. Yeah, I'm pretty much going for Saraya here, man, to get this win. And Tony Khan just loves having his homegrown AEW talent put over the WWE people. Like he did it to Darby Allin, and now he's doing it to Britt Baker. It's like you gotta build these superstars to have like a wealth behind them. You know what I mean? Instead of just jobbing them out. Like even Vince McMahon brought the WCW guys over and jobbed all them out to the WWF guys to show how legitimate his people, his stars are. And now look at what they're doing on AEW this day and age. They refer to the WWE's talent as superstars. But yeah, Saraya's going to win this one right here.
Keep in mind, folks, ... asterisk. Predictions subject to change.
Yeah, true. Especially after the go home Dynamite, we may have to make some adjustments to our predictions based off of what happens.
This prediction isn't changing, though. I'm going to have to say it's about a 99% likelihood that this prediction does not change.
Highly likely in all likelihood. And I agree. Even if Saraya lays out Britt Baker on the go home Dynamite, I'm still picking Saraya. Saraya. I always get them mixed up.
Watch.
It really should be Saraya, but whatever.
All right.
Get a potato.
By the way, I did not give my overall excitement level. I'm going 8 out of 10. Not quite as high as Noah because this is not the strongest card on paper, in my opinion, of the AEW pay-per-views. And we still have one more show. Exactly. My mind might change with a few more additions. We'll talk about that later. But as of now, 8 out of 10. Could be better, but it's still going to be a pretty awesome show based off of what we have lined up. So let's move on here. This is an interesting one. We got a steel cage match. Jungle Boy Jack Perry versus Luchasaurus with Christian in his corner. Now, of course, the whole idea of a steel cage match is to prevent outside interference, and, well, that almost never works. Typically, somebody gets involved. Somebody's head gets slammed with a cage door. We'll see what happens in this one. Now, Luchasaurus did win their last encounter. I'll start with this one. I would like personally to see Luchasaurus win again and continue his run of dominance. However, I feel like this might be the end of the feud, and they may want to go for a feel-good moment. Jungle Boy, the underdog, somehow overcomes the odds. Maybe some interference backfires. Christian tries to do something and it doesn't work out. I'm going to go with Jungle Boy. My heart says Luchasaurus, though. However, I am going to officially pick Jungle Boy for this one. Caleb Jacobs sent in a $2 super chat, says Doink the Clown lost his comeback match with Heath Slater. I did not know that Doink the Clown had a comeback match, so I learned something new today.
Damn, a match you would think would never happen.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, that's an all-time classic right there. But Noah, what are your thoughts on this one?
That's right up there with Rosie O'Donnell versus Donald Trump. As far as this one goes, it's one of those things. Yeah, I said it. This is one of those feuds where it's like, when does the good guy finally get the win? Jungle Boy has been showing savage nature, per se, to get the best of Luchasaurus and Christian Cage, who's made his life living hell the better part of this half a year. And ultimately, Jungle Boy Jack Perry wants to go after Christian Cage. That's the end game, but Christian Cage isn't cleared. So right now, he's trying to put the whole world on his shoulder and fight on behalf of his father and his family, with the element of a steel cage. Luchasaurus right now, the steel cage could protect him. It's a caged animal, so he could go rabid. He could blast Jungle Boy from side to side all across this thing here. All Jungle Boy has to do simply is survive. It doesn't hurt Luchasaurus' defeat, but eventually, the good guy's got to get some sort of momentum here. I don't think necessarily this is over because, again, Christian Cage will always have a plan. But Jungle Boy needs a win at some point. So I'm going to say Jungle Boy Jack Perry finally gets some revenge against these two at Full Gear.
All right. Noah, has Luchasaurus ever taken a pinfall in one-on-one matches in AEW?
I believe so. I think Wardlow once beat him during the pandemic when it was the Battle of the Giants. Yes.
All right, there you go. Mikey T, your thoughts?
So this will be the conclusion of the feud to me. I see Luchasaurus really having more mid-card title feuds following this, whereas I see Jungle Boy being the one of MJF's challengers in 2023. So I'm really hoping that they make the right move here. I'm really hoping Tony Khan does the right thing here and gives Jungle Boy the win that he needs to elevate himself to the main event. Now, you know, Aaron, I understand you want to see Luchasaurus continue on with his run of destruction. Christian will have the next 3 to 4 months, 6 to 8 months to build Luchasaurus up. More than likely to a rematch with Wardlow at Revolution, I'm thinking. So my pick here to win is Jungle Boy. Please elevate this man and give us Jungle Boy versus MJF.
Highly underrated match from Double or Nothing last year. Respect.
All right, that's 3 for Jungle Boy. Big G, you're up.
Yeah, this should be a good match. You know, I was there in Baltimore when Jungle Boy came back and took out Luchasaurus in that triple threat match for the All Atlantic Championship. I like how they're calling it, you know, saying Jungle Boy Jack Perry now, not just Jungle Boy, which is awesome. Yeah, you know, Luchasaurus should, you know, win this match and continue his dominance, but you know, I'm gonna go with Jungle Boy to win this match here too, and you know, get his win back, and you know, end the feud with Luchasaurus, and then you know, once Christian Cage is cleared to wrestle, I'm sure they'll continue that match, that feud between them two, and I'm sure Luchasaurus will be intertwined in that too again. So.
Yeah, I can see Luchasaurus going rogue at some point.
Yeah, eventually turning on Christian Cage. Yeah.
Now, Noah, this question here from JJ Williams: was Jack Perry billed as Jack Perry for All Out? I know they mentioned his name on TV, but was he actually previously billed as Jack Perry heading into a pay-per-view? Do you know?
Before All Out, no, he wasn't.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it might have been All Out as the first one, but I'd have to go
Yeah.
back and look at the promo
I mean,
material.
like they would say his name here and there on TV, saying Jack Perry and stuff like that. But
Justin
like,
Roberts introduced him now as Jungle Boy Jack Perry on a weekly basis.
which is good. Eventually they need to. I know that's his like gimmick, but they just need to drop the Jungle Boy and just do Jack Perry.
Yeah, he's a man now. Damn it.
Yeah, he's not.
I
He's not.
digress. You digress. Also, and yeah,
Yes.
Call him Tarzan.
Tarzan without a Jane. Oh no, wait, he does have a Jane. She's in the General Project Society.
Correct.
Yeah, a J.
All right,
Hey.
guys. Well, next up we have the TBS Championship, Jade Cargill versus the quote TBS champion
I
Nyla
love that.
Rose.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, so I really have no interest in this match whatsoever. To me, this is filler, unfortunately, because it should be more impactful considering it's the TBS title, but I just do not care about this feud, and maybe the match will be fine. Noah, I'm going to have to go with you first on this one because I'm just not feeling this one. Sell us, if you can, on this match, why we should look forward to this match, and go.
Well, the way I see it is, it all comes down to your interpretation of sports entertainment. Why Jade Cargill tries to prove her dominance in the ring, she is not dominant in her mentality because she can't hold on to her damn strap. And that's the whole point of this feud. Nyla Rose wants to prove that she is the baddest bitch in AEW versus Jade Cargill, who is number 4 on PWI's 150. Boohoo Internet. That being said, this comes down to, does Nyla Rose be the one to break the streak when originally it's going to be Chris Statlander? So what do you go with? Do you go with Twitter or do you go with the baddie section? That's what this comes down to. And if you're a fan of Eva Ward, you'll be engaged in this. With nothing else, it might be one of the longer matches Jade Cargill had because Nyla Rose can actually probably outpower that bitch. With that being said, though, I see Jade Cargill not only retaining, but regaining her strap. And as far as your investment in this match, you do what you wish. But I believe that bitch keeps the streaks going.
All right. You do as you wish. Sounds like basically F off. But that's the nicest F off you're ever going to hear from anybody ever.
Well, Jade Cargill would just tell you straight to your face. I keep it simple.
Right. Oh, well, I do not want another JD from New York situation. So I'll leave it at that. Big G, your thoughts on this one?
I'm going to go with Jade to retain. I mean, I had picked so many people against Jade to take the title off of her.
You fool.
I know, right? The
one person that could is injured.
What is she like 41-0 now or something?
Yes,
like that?
she is.
So I was there. I was there when she beat Marina Shafir on that Dynamite a couple weeks ago in Baltimore. And
Big G.
Huh?
You were there the night she beat Marina Shafir. A night that we will never forget.
Right.
A night that will live in infamy.
That was the
that night is going down.
First time was much more competitive, and I thought she was going to solve for her. Big G, I feel sorry for you.
But yeah, I can't bet. It's like, we can't bet against Roman Reigns or John Cena. Well, you can't bet against Jade Cargill and AEW.
But Big G, just one question for you.
Yes.
Do you know who Marina Shafir is now?
Yeah, I've always known who Marina Shafir was.
Okay, well, she says we don't know her. I was just wondering.
You think you know me? Okay.
All right, Mikey T, wrap it up for us. Should I acknowledge that B is the question. Maybe one day I will.
Yeah, acknowledge that B. There's only one B.
I'll acknowledge her when she's in WWE and actually being utilized well. Hot take right there.
Yeah, that's a hot take.
All right, go for it, Mikey T.
All right, so a title that really makes no sense. I have not watched TBS since dinner and a movie. I haven't watched TBS since they botched Thunder by giving Eric Bischoff no budget. So now we're back on TBS. Who in the blue hell would want to be a champion of TBS? Throw this title away with the 24/7 title. And also that horrendous idea for a women's intercontinental championship. Please be creative. What do we want? A women's European championship? Lance Storm makes better wrestling titles and better names than any of this bullshit. So it's documented. It's been documented on open night, Mike Night with Jeff Meacham and JJ Williams, my guys Noah and James, that I am not into this title versus title type of storyline. It's just happening so early in the lifeline of AEW. Like, really? We are 3 years in and people are already stealing other people's titles. Can we please get a better storyline? You know what I mean? But I get it. You know, they kind of had to hot shot this storyline because Chris Statlander is out at the moment.
Ding.
We'll see what happens with that because I see Jade retaining here. It'll be interesting to see how Tony Khan drags out this Jade Cargill title run, though. Maybe next she will face her own baddies to get us through December. Maybe a handicap match at Winter is Coming, perhaps.
Just give it to the bunny.
Hot take from Mikey T. I thought
And he's
I was
not
the
wrong.
only one with a hot take.
Well,
Not
Aaron,
wrong.
isn't this a little ridiculous that they're doing such a you're stealing the title so early into their company's history?
Well, they can't do the same thing 40 times over, apparently, where Jade Cargill gets open challenged by Nyla Rose and she just beats her on pay-per-view, apparently.
You know what? Turn Britt face and have her beat Jade Cargill. There's my hot take.
Well, you know what they should have done? Like, I remember a few weeks ago, Jade was like, I'm going to hijack Rampage if I don't get my title back. And, well, she didn't really hijack it. Like, she should have been out there, refused to leave the ring, and screw it. Let the first 20 minutes of Rampage, it's a 1-hour show, just let 20 minutes be of her standing in the ring and nobody can get her out of the ring. Randy Savage did something like that back in WCW years ago, and Sting had to come out there. That was compelling television. Go look it up. Sting, Randy Savage. I think it was in Chicago, January of 1997. They should have done a modern day version of that where Jade Cargill actually just hijacked, maybe even the whole show, have no matches. I'm serious, because they're getting such low viewership right now. That would have made Jade Cargill a show, and hell, that would have made Rampage a buzzworthy show. People would be like, did you see that? She hijacked the entire show. That would have made headlines. Would have gotten people interested in Rampage. It would have been something different. Would have made Jade Cargill over the top as a star, in my opinion. So there's my rant.
At least give her the first 15 minutes, but they totally just like disregarded the whole storyline that they put a segment on Dynamite about. You know what I mean? And they always tout that, you know what I mean? Jade Cargill does 1 million viewers when she's on television. Well, why are you not pulling the trigger on her then to start off Rampage when you already promoted it on Dynamite? It makes it look like you really don't consider your stars like that again. Like, it really just took him back a few steps. Like, Tony can't deliver on what he's saying on their major platform, Dynamite. Anyways.
Yeah. Apparently it's satisfiable enough for the network because it's still going. But regardless, I guess we all got that B retaining. Let's move on.
Well, we do have a $2 super chat from Psycho Jet Black, and then we'll move on. Does Tony Khan have a plan on who's going to beat Jade Cargill?
I like Chris Statlander. She got injured.
I like Big G's plan. Have Britt Baker go face, which means, Big G, Britt Baker, I'm not trying to sway your pick, but Britt Baker would have to put over Saraya. If she's going to turn face as a heel, she's got to put over the face. You know, they always do that. I like that idea, though. Go ahead, have Britt Baker by Revolution or maybe Double or Nothing go face and actually take down their Goldberg.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea either, because she's already held the AEW Women's World Championship, and honestly, she's kind of been in between both roles, even though she has been the predominant heel of the company's women's division. So, to be humbled by Saraya, that's the way to go.
Oh, and my bad, Colin, I'm actually smoking on some Irish Cannonball, 26% right now.
Good Lord Almighty.
My bad. Colin asked what I was blazing.
All right, well, now you know. So, moving on here at Full Gear, we have Sting and Darby Allin. They've been teaming for a while. They are going up against Jay Lethal and, can't believe I'm saying this, Double J, Jeff Jarrett. That's JEFF-JARRET, Jeff Jarrett in 2022.
Great.
This match is what I would call a train wreck. I will be entertained by it. Do I really want to see it? No, but they're putting it out there for the world to see. And I'm guessing most of the match will be Jay Lethal and Darby Allin. The Legends will tag in, do their thing. Sting tends to deliver, and Jeff Jarrett will probably be fine also.
Aaron, do you still have that picture of me?
Oh yeah, I should pull up that picture.
Yeah,
and I mean,
that's gonna be a running joke from now on. No.
After somehow managing to carry Ric Flair at the last match a couple months ago, I think Jeff Jarrett can handle pretty much any situation at this point. So I think this match will be fine. I don't really anticipate it being that much of a train wreck.
Look, you know that phrase, Aaron. The only thing that's for sure about Sting. Hey, Big G.
Big G was hyped to see Double J. You could see he's like, oh shit, Double J. What? Big G is
like, what? Double J in front of me?
You can tell by the look on Big G's face. He's like, Double J is back, baby.
Hold on. Big G, do you have like a photo or video of yourself reacting to CM Punk's debut?
I do.
You gotta find that.
That can be a total meme, like the reaction to one thing when CM Punk debuted, and then a reaction you watching Jeff Jarrett.
Yes. Oh man, the happiness of a fan to the angst of a fan. Brilliant. But let's be honest here, guys. The only thing that's for sure about Sting, he doesn't lose on pay-per-view. Simple as that.
I mean, really? I agree with you, Noah. I'm going to keep it short and simple. I think Sting and Darby are picking up the win here, and Jeff Jarrett will probably do the job. He's basically there to help out behind the scenes. So yeah, Sting and Darby win. This one's pretty cut and dry. But Big G, do you have maybe a different opinion on this?
No, I'm gonna go with Sting and Darby. You know, I mean, it should be a fun match. We'll see we'll see Jeff and Sting in the ring. You know, we'll see Double J try to hit somebody with a guitar and fail, and I think you know what, Darby's gonna throw Double J with a receipt and hit him with a guitar.
Oh, I'd like to see that. I think the whole crowd would like to see that. I just wonder, do people expect this to devolve into Sting versus Double J one-on-one since Sting has not had a singles match yet in AEW? Y'all are crazy.
I think so.
I doubt it. Highly unlikely in all likelihood.
And I agree with the boss man.
All right, Mikey T, what do you think?
Jesus, I might have to change my pick for this one.
Oh,
what?
You know, because I wrote up a whole thing here. You know what I mean? I got a whole
see if I got that
thing together here, and I might have to change my pick on this one, you guys, because you're hitting me with the whole Sting doesn't lose on pay-per-view. But then a few matches back, we got the whole it's the debut. How is Jeff gonna lose on his debut? But it looks like Tony Khan wants to run this back with Jeff Jarrett and Jay Lethal. And I must say, to me, as a casual fan of TNA, this just seems random as hell. Maybe there's some background here between the team that I don't really understand, other than him just signing Lethal to TNA in the past, but I don't know. And to be honest, I don't really care. It is highly unlikely, in all likelihood, as Aaron would say, that I will ever go back and find out as well, because I just don't care. Cheap plug for Aaron's new shirt as well.
Thank you for that. I appreciate it.
So Jarrett was on AEW TV dissing the WWE. Very, very odd. I also want to point out that Tony Khan signs Jeff Jarrett to a role backstage, which is virtually the same job that he had in the WWE most recently. Like, what? What kind of logic is that? I seriously don't understand it. If I could write a column on NoDQ about how this doesn't make sense, and then we are subjected to this man actually being on television again, this is ridiculous. And it's all probably leading not to a match with Sting, you guys, but to a match with Hangman Page. It's kind of sad that I actually called this. But talking about the victory, I was going to say that they're bringing Jarrett in. There's one man to be elevated here. Is it Jay Lethal? I was going to say let's give the victory to the heels, but screw it. I'm going with Sting. Jeff Jarrett is there just to take a fall, just like he has been since I've watched him on Coliseum home video losing to Shawn Michaels. Was that on Coliseum?
Probably.
Yeah, I believe so. And to be fair, hey, he knows his role and he does it well.
Simple
So
as that.
ridiculous, man.
All right, we'll move on to our next match, which is for the interim AEW Women's Championship. Toni Storm defending Hayter, who is on a bit of a roll right now. She's got some fan support, and people have been campaigning for her to potentially win a championship in AEW. However, we have a situation with Toni Storm being the interim champion. We're still waiting on Thunder Rosa to come back, and Thunder Rosa versus Toni Storm seems to be the match they are building to. So do they go with the champion retaining or shock us all by having a new interim world champion? And I'm not sure how often that happens in sports where the interim title gets exchanged around a bit. But Big G, I want to start with you on this one. Or Noah, did you want to go first?
No, I'm fine. Go ahead. I'm fine. Look, I've already had a discussion about this match 3 weeks over on open mic night, so I'm curious to get other people's takes. Besides the fact that the word interim almost makes me want to go on a rant that would demonetize Aaron Britt. Big G, go ahead.
Well, I'm gonna put it in nice words, Aaron, or in Noah, so we don't get demonetized. Drop the whole interim thing. You know, just drop it. You know, if a champion is injured, drop the title, vacate the title. You know, don't have an interim. You know. Anyways,
all right, that's
this match should be very good. And I'm reading Dr. Scorpios. He thinks Britt accidentally cost Hayter the title. You know, and that's that factor in there too.
Yep.
Just say that Britt does lose to Saraya.
Butterfly effect.
Like there you go. And you know, then Britt comes out to help Jamie Hayter. And like accidentally cost her the title. But I'm not going that route. I want Jamie Hayter to win so bad. I've become a Hayter fan in the past.
My guy.
You're a hater, Big G?
I'm a hater. You know?
Hayter's gonna hate Mikey T. Join the club.
What I'm talking about.
Yep, we all know.
I want her to win so bad, but I'm gonna go with Toni Storm to retain here because Aaron said it the best, you know, down the road when Thunder Rosa is better from her back injury or whatever injury she has, it's going to be for the title. So, yeah. Tony Khan, drop the interim crap.
Thank you very much for that, Big G. And yeah, I'm with you on that with everything, including getting rid of the interim title. It's just dragging on for too long now. I'd like to see Jamie Hayter win and AEW capitalize on her momentum, her organic momentum, but I just feel like you have to keep it on Toni Storm because then it's just going to get even more weird with changing the interim title. Like if Toni Storm was just strictly the world champion, no interim title, then yeah, I would say go with the organic reactions and call an audible. If your long-term plan was for Toni to be champion, change it because Jamie Hayter's got the momentum. You saw what happened with the Acclaimed, how much fans wanted to see them win the titles, and look where they're at now. You went with the organic reactions. So I would like Jamie Hayter to win, but I think the timing is just off on this. And unfortunately for her, I see Toni Storm retaining. So Mikey T, what are your thoughts?
Wow. So you said the money match or the most interested match right now is Rosa versus Toni Storm. I think we got a bigger match than that in play. I think one of the biggest storylines they've got right now is Britt Baker versus Jamie Hayter.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That is the one that has the most appeal to it. I mean, if they want to continue to kick a dead horse, you know what I mean? Or whatever the saying is that pertains to this. If Tony Khan really wants to continue doing something that just isn't working, and it hasn't been working since late June. And where are we now? It's Thanksgiving, and we're still prodding at this idea just like he did with Hangman Page. And, you know, but in this whole thing, we've pretty much got the WWE scenario where the world title is playing mid-card to the real superstars. You guys know the scenario I'm talking about. CM Punk versus Jericho at Extreme Rules for the WWE title, but Cena versus Lesnar closes.
Yep.
Over the Limit, Punk versus Daniel Bryan, yet John Cena closes with John Laurinaitis. Time after time. This is pretty much the WWE formula of entertainment. You know, the entertainment match closing while the WWE Championship match gets bumped. That's how I'm kind of seeing it here. But Toni is doing this to try and elevate the women's division, showing that he could bring in women's superstars. The booking is just a tad off, you know what I mean? Because much like the Acclaim's championship victory, Toni is only still 3 years into this. He's still really just figuring it out. But with this match, Toni has an out. He has a chance to make a star and not miss out on yet another opportunity. Please don't miss what is right in front of your face. The people are behind Jamie Hayter right now. Like I said, Toni had it since June. She really isn't getting over as anything more than a good competitor. She needs more time to build her character. Jamie had that time. The people want to see her feud with Britt Baker. And honestly, Britt needs it. If she doesn't feud with Jamie after this, she's going to be left floundering for months again. Let's not burn money here. Jamie Hayter has caught fire. Let's go with the homegrown talent. Noah, put me down for Jamie Hayter. Even though they could do the feud with Britt without the title.
Burn money. That's what they do.
Because Jamie Hayter has a Becky Lynch like fire right now behind her.
No,
Mikey T.
Can you answer me this, Noah? How long has Thunder Rosa been out?
Thunder Rosa has been out officially, as far as competition goes, since August 5th. I was there live at AEW Dynamite August 24th when she was on the Titantron saying, I have to relinquish the title. And, of course, it has now been, let's go ahead and do the math, shall we? Since August, September, October, now in November, practically 90 daggum days, we've had this interim BS involving the AEW Women's Division with the predominant champion, Toni Storm, being on TV every week, defending and showcasing this freaking championship. But I digress.
Okay, so at Forbidden Door, Toni Storm actually lost to Thunder Rosa.
Correct.
Right. Okay. I keep on mistaking it like that's where she won it. But then again, if she won it, then she wouldn't be interim.
Any other wrestling company, if you're out 30 days or more, relinquish the title. AEW, and we'll throw in. We'll
6 months.
Well, 6 months, we expect you to be back, and we're still going to call you the freaking champion because we're stupid.
Well, yeah.
And I'm high and drunk on cocaine. I'm Tony Khan. Back up, idiot.
This prediction might change, though, after Wednesday. This one could change if it's an obvious beatdown.
All right, Noah, your turn.
What is going on here? But Mikey, you said AEW's burning money. I mean, there's only one thing they should be burning, and that's not money, right, Mikey T?
Oh, God. No, they don't need to burn that. Buddy. That's part of Tony Khan's actually, wait a minute. That actually might calm him down. Jesse, damn it, what the hell's happening with this prediction video?
Yeah, he'll just have the munchies instead of wanting to hug everybody. Well, maybe he'll still want to hug everybody.
I can see if Randy Orton was on Raw right now, Randy Orton would be like, yo, let me hit your bong, bro.
This is not a cannabis promotion video. Walter Cruz is not here. And Chris Williams, I am not Eminem, so cut that out. Can we please get back to what we're talking about here?
All right.
That's supposed to be professional wrestling, damn it.
All right, we'll do that here because Dwayne Atkinson sent in $2 and says, get rid of all the tournaments also. I agree. I think they do too many of them.
God. Yeah, they do too many.
What's going to happen with this World Cup now that Braun Strowman is in it? I mean,
we got a tournament going on now between AEW and WWE, respectively, and even Impact's doing a tournament. Really, a tournament should only be used like in top case scenarios to like figure out contenders for the main title. And I understand why they did this one. This one feels more normal because it has been more annual because they did it at Full Gear last year. Remember, last year's tournament led to Miro, the Redeemer, versus Bryan Danielson, American Dragon at Full Gear. That was a hell of a match. Yeah. Rumor has it, I think this year's match is going to be all Ego for Page versus Absolute Rick Starks, but that still has yet to be seen. Now, let's get back to this match, shall we? So, Jamie Hayter, Toni Storm. Both have incredibly strong styles to them. Both have history. They've had only one match, though, in AEW. It was during the opening of the Owen Invitational. Toni Storm got the win. Jamie Hayter has been on traction with the audience for her in-ring performance and for her character and overall presence. Since last year, to think, last year she was involved during the buy-in. Now she's involved in the AEW Women's World Championship match. We all want Jamie Hayter to win, but like I said, it comes down to the butterfly effect. What is Dynamite Baker DMD's future? And does Jamie Hayter and Britt Baker continue it together? Or does some tension build? Does some jealousy finally ensue? And does Jamie Hayter finally take the damn doctor's head off like she should have at AEW All Out after screwing her out of the title? Regardless, because the fact they still have Toni Storm and Amaya still to happen, and I do want to see Toni Storm go heel eventually, this is more founded on personal tensions and a rivalry. But this is a showcase match. It's Jamie Hayter single involved on pay-per-view for the title. Hayter's going to hate, but I'm always going to appreciate. Hell, I met the woman live. That being said, I don't think this is where it's going to stop, but something's going to change going forward, I feel, with Jamie Hayter and Britt Baker's dynamic. But I do still believe Toni Storm, like Mikey said, as far as she goes, has time to grow. Until the interim merch drop, she hasn't grown fully yet. I'm going to say that Toni Storm retains for now, but Jamie Hayter will not be happy, and I feel that she's going to take out her frustrations on Britt eventually. Toni Storm retains.
All right. I agree. Toni Storm retains. And Psycho Jet Black said, at least Toni Storm is more over than Von Wagner.
Now that's the God honest truth. Who the hell is Von Wagner?
Von Wagner is a NXT superstar who he literally went from being in the opening match on the card to then getting a shot at Braun Breaker, because I feel like they needed to fast track him because they realized he's a lost cause. Sorry to Von Wagner.
And watch, by the time this stream is over, Von Wagner will be the new NXT champion.
Not my NXT.
Oh, yeah, that's actually tonight. Okay, that's actually tonight. Good luck to Von Wagner, but I mean, when you have a championship match on television, it says a lot.
Mikey T, here's two constants for you, not my NXT. Mandy Rose retains, Braun Breaker retains. It's as simple as that.
Yep. All right. Thank you, Noah. And now we move on to the AEW Tag Team Championships of the World. We have the Acclaimed with Daddy Ass Billy Gunn in his corner. They will be defending against Swerve and Our Glory, a rematch for the tag team titles. I'll go first. I'm going to keep this. Oh, Scissor Me Daddy. There you go. Big G with the t-shirt. I'm going to keep it simple. Acclaimed are red hot right now. Don't see them losing the titles. And I think this might be the end of the Keith Lee and Swerve Strickland team. They seem to be on the outs. Noah, tell us about the backstory here and your thoughts on all this.
No, I'm not doing that. That being said, so yeah, scissor me, Mikey, because I definitely agree the Acclaim will retain. That being said, the backstory goes as follows. We saw this match that really was the Acclaim's breakout moment at AEW All Out against Swerve and Our Glory. They lost. Then they got their moment on home turf during AEW's Grand Slam, becoming the AEW Tag Team Champions with the help of Daddy Scissors himself. So Swerve decided to get spooky and take away that capability from their daddy. And we've seen shenanigans, and we saw, thanks to the Butt Boys, freaking screw FTR, and that's definitely a match to come, I feel like, too. Screw them out of number one contendership with a Swerve Our versus FTR, great TV match. So this has been made, and it is the rubber. We've seen now lately, though, how Swerve has his own intentions and ways to keep himself at the top and maybe have a new manager. I don't know what the heck that Rick guy cameo was. But Keith Lee, he's a man of integrity. And he believes that Swerve needs to stay in the right lane if this team is going to continue moving forward or even regain the AEW Tag Team Championships. Different morals aside, the Acclaim are on a united front, and I feel they will be on Saturday night. Big G, Mikey T, Scissor Me, the Acclaim retains.
All right, there you go. And Colin Andrew, I do not think we will see the Ass Boys in this one.
No, they want FTR, and FTR has a bit of rivalry with them. Before the Acclaim use the Tag Team Championships, they need to face FTR, so they go 8-star. It's the only accolade FTR needs to add to their incredible 2022.
Psycho Jet Black sent in a $2 super chat, says, what if Keith Lee turns heel and wins by cheating? And Big G, I guess we'll throw it over to you on this one. I don't think Keith Lee is turning heel. It seems like Swerve is the natural heel here, but the question is, would Keith Lee go heel with him? I don't think that's going to happen, but what do you think, Big G?
I don't think so either. You know, Keith Lee didn't know that, you know, Swerve took daddy ass and, you know, broke his fingers, and Keith Lee was saying, you know, who was behind the camera in the first place. People could have said it could have been Rick Ross could have been doing it, which would have been funny.
Rose.
But yeah, you know, the Acclaimed are so over that my wife a couple weeks ago had me scissor her.
Did that happen live on the air, Big G?
Wow. Jarrett?
Yeah.
I
want to. It was like 3. I think it was like when the Acclaimed had their like victory celebration or whatever.
That's
yeah,
no
you
sizzling
can
day.
tell how the Acclaimed are over when my wife really doesn't watch AEW, and she does the scissors. Anyways, it should be a fun match.
Oh
you
my
know,
gosh.
you had Daddy Ass interfere when the Acclaimed won. I think
There you go.
he'll be out there. I don't think he'll interfere this time, but I'm gonna go with the Acclaimed to retain, baby.
All right. Well, Mikey T, if you could scissor anybody in the world, who would it be?
Oh man,
Putting you on the spot here. I got a dog named Spot.
Well, I mean, obviously, I mean, people are paying probably $100 in line at a autograph signing to scissor with daddy ass right about now. You know what I mean?
Lord.
He's probably charging it's probably like $50 to come and scissor daddy ass right about now.
I mean, the dude could probably make money for the rest of his life now just at autograph signings and conventions. $50 to scissor Billy Gunn.
And wearing a foam finger.
Money in the bank for Billy Gunn. He is set for life.
Oh, Lord.
I just want to say also, it would be pretty cool that super chat we got about Keith Lee actually going heel. I mean, it would be of a shocker if they want to do something like that. I'm not sure where else we're going to get a shocker on this show, but Rick Ross managing Keith Lee and Swerve, that would be money, because a lot of people were thinking that Ross had that good energy. You know what I mean? Rick Ross had a lot of good energy on the show. He obviously was a nice talker. So I think that'd be cool. But, you know, this match has had a hell of a lot of build, you know, and I thought by Full Gear, we would actually be to the point where Keith Lee was ready to get in the ring with Swerve for a singles match. But I guess we're going to have to wait till winter is coming, because Tony Khan is dragging this one out just a little bit longer. Here we go. We got match 3 in this tag team feud. And this type of booking is what I think makes people say, oh, when the AEW homegrown talent got the chance to have a great run, it's kind of boring. Like every time a homegrown AEW talent gets the title, it's like people get bored immediately, like they did with Hangman Page. Having the Acclaimed facing this team that has, you know what I mean, they have obvious problems. Facing them 3 times is just a little bit too much. I mean, they should have handled the Ass Boys and then be on to feuding with FTR at this point, in my opinion, if you want to keep the team's momentum rolling. FTR has all the other titles. Why not use this as a chance to showcase the status of the AEW tag titles? But I guess we're going to have to wait for that. You know what I mean? But this is all about selling pay-per-views, and I guess we're going to have some second-time buyers here. People shelling out 50 bones to watch this match for a 3rd time? No, thank you. I'm all set with leftovers tonight. Something fresh.
My God, this show's gone off the rails.
Put FTR in there. That would be a sale. People would actually.
I agree with that statement, though. He's not wrong. But again, also, Mikey, we kind of talked about it. It seems that several wrestling programs, I mean, particularly, they kind of go through a trilogy. So, I mean, this is okay with me if it's the end game.
All right. Well, Big G, if you really want this to go off the rails, let's read another super chat from Psycho Jet Black saying, imagine Von Wagner wants to scissor you.
he has enough cognitive sense to actually know what that means?
Yes, he does.
I wouldn't want to scissor Von Wagner.
They just need to utilize Von Wagner the right way. Same with Omos. He's kind of in that same role where he's like, he just needs to be utilized properly. Hell, they need to bring Von Wagner up. And if they're going to continue these scenes with JBL and Baron Corbin, like the old like APA styled scenes where they're playing cards and they're taking advantage of people, they need to put Von Wagner up there as their security, kind of like Test was back in the day.
Hey, they could be the new Chronic.
No, I was just thinking maybe just have him stand there and be the security.
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
But Corbin does need a good tag team run next. He's done everything else. Give him a tag team run.
Yeah, like I said, the new Chronic. They could be burning every week on Raw.
Put some respect on that Chronic riff.
All right, guys, we got 2 more matches to go. We're almost done here. We got the prestigious Ring of Honor World Championship. We have Bryan Danielson versus the world champion Chris Jericho versus Claudio versus Sammy Guevara, who Jericho decided to put into this match so he has a little backup. Now, of course, Noah, the storyline here, Jericho has his buddy with him, but are they going to be able to get along? Noah, what are your thoughts on this match?
I'm surprised you didn't say, can they coexist despite the fact they're in a tag team match together tomorrow night as the Sex Gods against BCC. This one's odd, but I think about like this. Ring of Honor, Final Battle. Ring of Honor World Championship has to be a focal point of that pay-per-view. And I feel that people is going to set up finally a separate foundation for Ring of Honor going forward too. They have to separate the Ring of Honor ecosystem from the AEW ecosystem before the end of this year, in my honest opinion. As far as this goes, Chris Jericho, the Ocho, again, Chris Jericho, 30 years, master of reinvention and character development, making professional wrestling into sports entertainment through the Ring of Honor title. That's a unique crossroads in itself. I feel this comes down to budding egos and pride. Bryan Danielson, Claudio Castagnoli will be the first time we see him in tag team action, both of which have been former Ring of Honor World Champions. But also, again, when you're going after the prize, do you worry about bringing it home to the club, or do you worry about putting it around your own waist that night? Sammy Guevara, he showed a bit of hesitation. Oh, yeah, let me get this out of the way. Still trying to keep it in the context, people. Sammy Guevara, he's kind of that guy right now that feels like, yes, Chris Jericho's my friend. I see what he's thinking about, but I have something to prove to myself. And at the end of the day, if you're not in this business to become champion, what the hell are you doing just playing second fiddle? For me, though, this just feels like Chris Jericho removing Bryan Danielson and Claudio Castagnoli from challenging him going forward. Somebody else has to come forward and challenge the Ocho, I feel like, at Final Battle. So regardless, I see tension finally brewing with Sammy Guevara and Chris Jericho, but I do see Chris Jericho escaping with the title.
All right, now we'll throw it over to Big Baller G. Well, actually, Big G, before you go, Psycho Jet Black sent in $2, says Chronic versus Von Wagner, scissors on a pole. And we need Sid Vicious in there too, and Arn Anderson. Let's just go with the whole scissoring crew.
Von Wagner and Baron Corbin versus Chronic.
Are we sure that Psycho Jet Black does not know Vince Russo?
He might. It might be him after all. You never know. Big G?
Oh, man. This should be a fun match. You know, you got 4 very talented wrestlers. You know, Jericho and Guevara might call themselves sports entertainers, but they're professional wrestlers.
Damn it.
Damn it. I'm gonna go with Jericho to retain here. I mean, you gotta have oh my God, Noah said, you know, by the end of the year, I've said this before too, ROH needs to move in its own way for the new year and be its own entity and not cling on with AEW. So how do you not have a bigger name than Jericho to be a world champion when the reboot of Ring of Honor starts again? So I'm going to go with Jericho to retain here.
All right, Mikey T.
And I feel like Claudio is going to get the pinfall.
All right, Mikey T.
Ouch.
All right, let's talk about it.
Break it down, brother.
So the ROH championship is in play, and Tony Khan is pretty much doing the same thing he did with the Impact Championship for a while. You know, to some people, it reminds them of how the WWE tried to jumpstart the WCW back in the day. I'm a little sold on ROH, but listening to some of the reviews, it seems like Tony is just trying to make a bigger deal. Reviews that you do, Aaron, you know, it seems like Tony is just trying to make a bigger deal out of ROH than it really was. You know what I mean? But in all honesty, to have previous champions like Samoa Joe, Seth Rollins, CM Punk, I think the company has some prestige behind it. This match honestly should have been saved for the final battle.
Agreed.
I don't know what the thought process is here, putting it on Full Gear. I mean, another 6-man tag team would have been generic, I guess. This realistically should have been Jericho versus Daniel Garcia, I think, champion versus champion, but they stopped that storyline out of the blue. But Jericho retains here, most likely hitting Sammy Guevara with a Judas effect to begin a storyline with them. But I don't know what they do moving into the final battle now. It just kind of seems like they're giving their main event away that could have took their company from doing 25,000 buys to potentially 90,000 buys. Jericho retains here, as I said, though. What's the point of Cesaro getting a win back in a fatal 4-way match?
Yeah, I agree with you. I think it's going to be Jericho retaining by hook or by crook. And Psycho Jet Black sent in another $2 super chat, says Big G versus Vince Russo, beard versus hair. Would you take that fight, Big G?
Yeah, why not?
You could take Vince Russo.
Yeah, I'll pull a Vince Russo and bring in all my thugs and just have him beat down Vince Russo.
Right, just Swerve, the master of the swerves. That's what you got to do.
Big G is his own mogul here.
A little bit of human psychology, and you can take care of Vince Russo. Bring him some Kiss records, and then when he's distracted looking at him, just hit him over the head with a pole.
A pole, there you go.
There you go.
That is some poetic justice right there.
Exactly. Knock him out with his own creation.
What is that, bro?
Dwayne Atkinson sent in a $2 super chat. Thank you, Dwayne. Says ROH and AEW reminds me of WCW and WWE. I agree.
Mm-hmm.
They just didn't do no WCW-based pay-per-views for a while in WWE during that reboot.
Are we going to talk about the World Title Eliminator Finals?
We'll talk about that at the end since it's not official yet. We'll go over all the unofficial stuff at the end. So I am going with Jericho to retain. And now we move on to our main event of the evening.
Here we go.
The AEW World Champion, Jon Moxley, defending his title against the hometown boy. He's from New York, Long Island area, but he will be close by. This pay-per-view Full Gear taking place in Newark, New Jersey, not too far away from where MJF grew up. So he will effectively be the hometown hero. People have been buzzing about MJF becoming the champion for quite some time now. And if you remember, these two did have a match back in 2020 at All Out. Moxley won that match. MJF was unsuccessful in becoming the champion. Now, 2 years later, he's wiser. He has more experience, and he has momentum on his side.
And the entire wrestling fan base.
Pretty much. So, Big G, we'll start with you. Heel or face, MJF seems to be the man. MJF has all the momentum in the world. Jon Moxley is the champion, but remember, he was originally going to take some time off before that whole all-out situation happened with CM Punk and the Elite. He's back. He's the champ now. Maybe he goes off to take some time off, or maybe not. What do you think is going to happen, Big G?
So I've been liking this storyline / feud for the past couple, ever since MJF won the poker chip last at Double or Nothing.
AEW All Out.
Was it at All Out? Okay, sorry, All Out. Sorry. Anyways, the last week when MJF cut his promo in the studio, or not really a promo, but he was doing an interview, and he took that time to pretty much put over Moxley, and then Moxley did the same thing later that night and put over MJF. And I liked how, that they weren't face to face in the ring with each other. It kept it more real. That way, when it comes to Full Gear this Saturday, I mean, it'll be the first time they've seen each other in a while. As far as who's going to win the match, I mean, MJF is red hot right now. If you don't put the title on him, I think AEW is pretty much dead in the water. Have one of your homegrown talent win in their hometown is the perfect time. So I'm going to go with MJF to win the title here.
All right, MJF. Now, Mikey T, I'll throw it over to you next. If you think MJF is going to win, you might not. How do you think the match is going to end? I did see one comment. People think MJF's a face now, but will that be a swerve? Will MJF actually win with William Regal's brass knucks, and Regal goes over to MJF's side, and that's the big swerve? What do you think is going to happen, Mikey T?
So the rematch from the match that we knew MJF would not get the victory of. The way that they did the feud with MJF, treating it almost like a presidential campaign.
Oh, yeah.
You just kind of knew, you know what I mean? You just kind of knew he wasn't going to win it. It was the badasses time at that point. Moxley was running through all the big men back then. Brody Lee, Brian Cage, Lance Archer. So honestly, that feud with MJF was a breath of fresh air. What did he lost the title to Omega because of Don Callis. Mox got the title back at Forbidden Door, defeating Tanahashi. This was after he returned and had a renewed energy. And then they even gave him that breaking news win over CM Punk, which I kind of forgot about because I had ranted about Tony Khan just letting CM Punk beat Moxley. Like, that was disrespectful as all hell. You know what I mean? I forgot about that, because they let Punk defeat him a few days later. Even though he had re-injured himself, why not call an audible? Because I really feel like it jeopardized the credibility of the title, just to be real. And it honestly makes me think like Moxley is looking like a placeholder champion time and time again, which he is not. Moxley is a guy that carried the company. When people run out because of, creative freedom, John Moxley is there. When people get injured, John Moxley is there. All that different types of shit, you know what I mean? And apparently when an interim champion is needed, John Moxley is there. I loved Mox's promo. He's a multi-millionaire saying all that type of shit because it's obvious that he has all the same perks as MJF, but he's just not a snob about it.
Yep.
Well, MJF is getting the win. He's going to get his win back. And then I think he'll also defeat somebody like Ethan Page at Winter's Coming, which is totally mid, in my opinion. I hope MJF actually says that in a promo. Either match would be mid, though, Ethan Page or Ricky Stark. Why? Because they're just not ready yet. The best case scenario would have actually been Eddie Kingston to face MJF. Eddie Kingston can go face or heel. So MJF is finally going to take the title, and let's see how this works out. You know what I mean? Take the title off your workhorse once again. Let's see how that works. Mox, at this point, is going to be a 5-time champion like Bret Hart in no time.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much what he is. He's the guy you can always rely on, but at the same time, they're trying to build up the next future star in their company. So good point there, Mikey T.
Thanks,
and you mentioned Ricky Starks and Ethan Page. Either one of them could end up facing the champion. And I think that they can be in a similar situation as MJF was in 2020, where he wasn't quite ready yet, but you're giving him that opportunity to show what he can do. And the promos alone will be pretty interesting to see what Ricky Starks and Ethan Page, one of them,
or they can
face
just
to face with MJF. That'll be a real big moment for them. But Noah, what are your thoughts on this match? A lot of different ways this can go. We could see some interference. Maybe MJF wins clean. I mean, the whole point here was that he said that he wanted to earn the championship. and do it the right way by cashing in, giving his opponent the advance notice, wants to beat Moxley at 100%. But of course, he's been a heel. He's known to lie. What do you think's going to happen? Will MJF win cleanly or will there be shenanigans? What's your call?
Well, the beauty of MJF, you don't know whether black or white. He's just pure gray. He even says that, don't forget, I still am MJF. I'm better than you know it. I'm still going to be me at the end of the day. But he said that he doesn't need to use a Dynamite Diamond ring. And right now, this perspective of how he's going into this match and wants to win it is all influenced by Regal, who particularly says you still have a lot to prove. So whether or not that factor comes into play, and does Regal's brass knuckles, power of the punch also come into play here? Again, is there honor among thieves? Is there trust among villains? And also Stokely, we have to consider that in the back of this too, because again, he betrayed his friend, he betrayed the firm, and Stokely says, I will see you again, MJF. So whether or not the Ethan Page thing happens afterwards, or that is somehow at the end of the night, MJF has something to prove here on several fronts. Like BJ alluded to, that last radio sit-down segment, he literally talked about how it seemed like each night was going to be his moment, but it was taken away by some utter stupid shenanigan. The last one was a friggin' press conference. So as far as the match here, this truly comes down to story. But I said since Double or Nothing 2019, when AEW existed, when that championship was first presented, and two men were at the forefront of it, Heyman and Page, a name you knew due to who he was connected to, and an unknown but was making himself the center of attention and has done it since. And every match MJF has had, whether it's been Jungle Boy, Dante Martin, Sammy Guevara, Darby Allin, they've all been a traditional way that has pushed for not only him, but the other talent in a way. Jon Moxley's already that guy. Jon Moxley said himself, he's a teacher. He wants MJF to rise to that occasion. He wants MJF to prove to himself. Everything up to this point has been easy. Now the hardest work has yet to begin. Can he finally be the guy to hold the title over his shoulder? I think so. I definitely have MJF winning. As far as what's to come, there's so many different ways it could go. MJF, Heyman, and Page, yet to be revisited. Maybe Heyman comes back, has a bitter chip on his shoulder. They finally circle this all the way back to Double or Nothing 4 years later. I would love to see the promos between Ricky Starks and MJF because they both are masters on the mic. They both draw fan attention, and that could be a great proving ground match for Ricky Starks, particularly in the main stage at Winter is Coming. Ethan Page, with the history with Stokely, there's sense right there, and Stokely, he could try to come in on Ethan Page's behalf. Ethan Page, he gets a big chance to prove himself on television. Regardless, the future of All Elite Wrestling depends on the guy that truly is better than you, and you know it. MJF needs to win, and Jon Moxley is the guy to guide MJF finally above that point to be the champion. MJF wins, and Jon Moxley, no matter what, whether he goes on vacation or goes after MJF in some other way, he always will be the company guy. But MJF right now is professional wrestler of this generation of the industry. MJF for the win.
Well said, Noah. I agree 100%. Whether it's as a good guy or a bad guy or a tweener, MJF will prevail. And we could see the firm help MJF. Maybe the whole thing, the attack, everything was a setup, a swerve. Time will tell on that. And as far as the Eliminator tournament, so now we'll talk about potential matches. Any final thoughts on the show? We have the Eliminator tournament, Ricky Starks and several others, Brian Cage still in it. But I think it's going to end up being Ricky Starks versus Ethan Page. And my thought process is if the firm is with MJF, Ricky Starks will win and challenge MJF. If the firm is not with MJF after the pay-per-view, Ethan Page will win. And I think that the outcome of that match could be a clue as to what happens in the main event. We'll see. I'm going to make my prediction before the pay-per-view, but obviously we have to see how this tournament plays out. So we got that coming up, and then possibly the return of the Elite. That's been something that people have been speculating on. And if they do return, we could see the Elite versus the Death Triangle, which would elevate this card big time if we get that match. And if that match happens, I'm going with the Elite to win back their titles. And we could see a few other matches. Mikey T, any final thoughts on what I just said or any other matches you want to speculate on? Go ahead.
Yeah, judging from the brackets, we got Ethan Page and Bandito. It's just going to be kind of crazy to see Bandito lose after signing a new contract for 3 years, apparently. A part of me says like maybe Ricky Starks doesn't compete after Lance Archer attacked him, but I highly doubt we get Archer versus Bandito. I just don't see that. I see Starks getting 2 major victories against Cage and Archer, and then he loses to Ethan Page. But like you said, it's going to be judging whether the firm is going to be with MJF or not. I think Tony Khan is going to want to tease this idea just a little bit longer that MJF is going to be a face, unless he uses William Regal's brass knuckles. I would love to see William Regal help lead the firm as well, so we can focus on some of that talent. But yeah, it's just kind of going to be lame. It's going to be not lame. It's going to be a little mid. It's going to be a little mid for us to have to see Ethan Page or Ricky Starks challenge MJF for his first title defense. What a way to start off the title defenses. I mean, come on. We don't need another Hangman Page situation. Also, obviously, yeah, Kenny Omega and the Elite will win the trios titles back. Tony Khan will act like nothing ever happened. And but we've seen a little dissension within the Death Triangle as well over that hammer, so they're leading us to believe that maybe they won't be the rightful champions any longer.
Yeah.
And by the way, Stomach Bug said, what happened to Wardlow versus Samoa Joe? Remember, we have one more Dynamite.
Yeah.
I'm guessing we're going to get several more matches added.
Samoa
and if
Joe
they do that match, I think Wardlow will beat Samoa Joe.
You're forgetting one person, Aaron, in that match.
Powerhouse Hobbs.
Yeah, Hobbs.
Thank you. It's going to be – I can see them making a triple threat. Hobbs, Wardlow, and Joe.
All right. Put both titles on the line.
There you go. Title for title.
Yeah, but regardless, I say Wardlow wins.
And I feel like for 0 hour, Noah, you might agree to this. I think Cassidy might defend his All Atlantic Championship on that, because
makes sense.
For the most part, they put all their titles on the show. So yeah.
Well, again, you do pay-per-views 4 times a year. You gotta represent all the championships. In this case, at least we're finally seeing them all practically defended versus a couple just lobbed in like a tag match, particularly the TNT title. But yeah, I agree with you. The triple threat for the TNT, I see All Atlantic Championship being defended on the 0 hour. I don't necessarily see the Trios champions maybe being defended on the 0 hour. But based on these vignettes from the House of Black, maybe they run back House of Black in Death Triangle. Maybe they're the ones that take the title off the Death Triangle.
Well, aren't Death Triangle defending
They are defending them tomorrow against AR Fox and Top Flight. Darius Martin is back from an injury.
Okay.
So good for
Who did you say Cassidy would face, Big G?
That's a good question, though.
I would say maybe like an open challenge, or maybe
there's a surprise appearance by somebody, maybe from NJPW.
Yeah,
why didn't they just save that match they did at Rampage when they had the dude come back to face him?
Katsuyori Shibata?
Yeah.
It seemed kind of odd that they did that on Rampage.
When that guy showed up on Dynamite 2 weeks ago in Baltimore, everybody was cheering. I was sitting there. I'm like, who in the blue hell is this guy? I was literally sitting. I'm like,
yeah, and I'm sorry.
Everybody was standing up and cheering and chanting his name. I'm just sitting there. I'm like,
Big G, you didn't know. You can't hold that against you.
I don't know who this guy
Nobody
is.
knows All Things Wrestling, but yeah, Katsuyori Shibata, the guy that nearly killed himself, busting his head against Kazuchika Okada. That's occurred Genesis 2017 for the IWGP Heavyweight Championship version 4. Now back to competition, taking on Freshly Squeezed. Pretty darn good opening match. Good for him.
Who's that dude that was
we
wearing
predict how long this pay-per-view is going to be?
The usual 4 hours, and then you have the 0 hours. So a total of 5.
Yeah.
Maybe a little over 5.
What, like 12:30 again or something like that?
Something like that.
Poor Aaron.
Yeah, I know, really. Now, guys, we have some news.
What?
Von Wagner did not win the NXT title.
Hold on, what? They go with that?
They did.
That means Alba Fire is definitely taking that women's title tonight.
Noah,
she's taking that title. Noah,
not on TV. No, they're going to do that.
She's lost twice already.
All right, guys.
NXT television doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Noah, any final thoughts before we wrap up?
I think we pretty much covered everything up to this point. There might be a grudge match with Eddie Kingston versus somebody. Besides that, I really don't got anything else.
All right, guys. So on that note, we will wrap it up, and I'm sure we'll all give our final thoughts on the additional matches and give our predictions for the league. Let's go ahead and do our plugs now. Mikey T, great to have you back on with us once again. What would you like to plug?
So, man, let me do some plugs here. Let me see. I want y'all to check out my YouTube page. It's called Report Card Radio. If you're interested in hearing more of my thoughts, if you're interested in hearing some music thoughts as well, you know what I mean? You can go check it out over there. I'm telling you, I got some crazy ass topics that I discuss, news topics. I do watch alongs with some of my past interviews as well. But also, I want to give a shout out to the open mic night. I want to give a plug over there to my guy JJ Williams doing his movie reviews on Casa D18 Studios, as well as the Jeff Meacham Network. I'll be joining them over there this Saturday night after Full Gear. Isn't that right, Noah?
Daggone right.
But yeah, I appreciate you, Aaron, for having me on the channel. You know, NoDQ is a staple. So I appreciate the opportunity to be on NoDQ.
You got more subscribers than this channel.
Well, you know, I'm going to put you on my page, Aaron. You know, why you could put somebody up on the front page?
Appreciate it, man. Thank
I'm
you.
gonna throw you up there, bro, because I appreciate all the love you show me on the,
You got to help us smaller channels build up.
Stop. We're right at the same amount of subscribers, Aaron.
Yeah, true. All right, Big G, you got a pretty popular TikTok. So what would you like to plug for us?
Man.
Yeah, so
I watch
NoDQ.
Big G and the Island Boys on TikTok.
Oh God, yeah.
I'm just
So, NoDQ.com/BigBallerG will take you to my Twitter page. I'll get to that here in a minute. At BigBallerG1988 on TikTok. So this coming weekend, Parker Kane Thanksgiving weekend, Parker Kane Promotions will be making their debut in North Carolina with WrestleCade. And we are bringing, I won't be there personally. My buddy's going to be down there. He's bringing in Kylan King, Lady Frost, the Savage Gentleman, Emily J, and Courageous Christina Marie. And then, and I think December, we're doing another show up in Jersey. And then that'll be it for 2022. And then Baltimore Celeb Fest 6 in February. We are bringing in some big names as well. So Parker Kane Promotions, baby. Check that out.
Have you guys ever heard Von Wagner rap before? Because Psycho Jet Black sent in $2. Thank you. And says Rick Ross versus Von Wagner in a rap.
Yo, Rick Ross would tear that boy to shreds.
I don't know. Not a guarantee. Bo Dallas outperformed Flo Rida that one time.
Is that accurate, Aaron? Did that really happen? I don't think that happened.
Bo Dallas was fantastic, in my opinion. He stole the show.
Bo Dallas is more over than Von Wagner.
Well, that is true. I mean, Von Wagner. If Von Wagner could out-entertain any rapper, I would be beyond shocked. Don't think he could do it. Highly unlikely. But I haven't heard him rap, so cannot say with 100% certainty. Anyways, Noah Foster. Hello.
Hi.
What would you like to promote?
You know me, I'm simple. Again, always a pleasure, gentlemen. Good luck to you all again. It's the finale of the All Elite League 2022, and NoDQ Galaxy Europeans married to. Stay tuned for the forum later this week. But if you want to know more about me, know this. I am just a simple man and a lifelong fan of professional wrestling. Damn it! But I digress. Find me on Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube, and Foster1916 for all things wrestling. Shout out, of course, to my entire AEW family on Twitter. There'll be a lot of content coming up on my simple YouTube channel this week, including live and predicted panels for all three big major shows this week: Impact Wrestling's Overdrive, AEW Full Gear, with, of course, my horseman in the NoDQ Galaxy, and Castagnoli JJ in the chat. I see you there, brother. As well as we're doing predictions for the NJPW Stardom crossover pay-per-view and similar takes on all of that, too. And much more to come, too. But as always, let it conclude, there are no winners, no losers, no betters. Just fans with opinions for this passion we all share. At the end of the day, folks, support one another, respect each other, protect your mentality, too, and treasure your families. And just enjoy life and enjoy professional wrestling. It's as simple as that. And support Jeff Meacham and our watch-alongs this weekend, too, for both Impact Wrestling and AEW. It's going to be a fun week for professional wrestling. Let's freaking go.
Yeah. Well, speaking of Jeff, he was supposed to be on with us. If that was the case, I think we would have gone to 2 hours tonight. So count your blessings, everybody, that it was just the 4 of us and we only had 8 matches to predict instead of 12. Then we really would have gone over 2 hours. So it worked out nicely. So thank you to everybody for watching. Thank you to the panel. Great time tonight with the predictions for AEW Full Gear. And I will be back sometime after midnight to recap the show Saturday night, late night live stream, but we're going to get it done. Tune in for that. And of course, NoDQ.com/merch. We got all the new merchandise up. The new No DQ pack shirt, along with Colin Cleaver Andrews shirt, Walter Cruz's new shirt, and Big G has a new shirt coming up very soon. So go over to NoDQ.com/merch. Use the code EARLYBIRD for 20% off. And on that note, we will see you all next time. And remember to say yes to NoDQ.com. Have a great night, everyone.
Have a good night, folks. Not my NXT.